Here is the bus waiting out front that takes you to the Rouge factory tour. The Ford Rouge Center can trace its origins all the way back to 1915, when Henry Ford began to create the world's largest single industrial complex. The complex was so vast and impressive that rather than just have parts shipped here to be made into vehicles, Henry Ford had the raw materials shipped here in boats, unloaded, and turned them from raw materials into actual parts, right here at this massive Rouge complex. He actually owned coal and iron deposits and handled his own production of everything. From raw materials to finished automobile, it was all done here. Now the first thing they take you to when you go in is the Legacy Theater. You are not allowed to record or take pictures inside of it, but it was kind of a three-dimensional, high-tech, interactive production, telling the history of Henry Ford, the Ford Motor Company, and the Rouge factory. It was very well done. Next, you enter the Legacy Gallery, which in addition to the current Ford F-150 pickup truck you see here, features a display of 5 classic historical vehicles that were made at the Rouge plant throughout the years. The 1929 Model A, the 1932 Ford V8, the 1949 Ford Coupe, 1955 Ford Thunderbird, and the 1965 Ford Mustang. They are in that order, going left to right. And Model T components were manufactured at the Rouge, but the Model A was the first automobile assembled here. Mustang, 2,614 hours. Let me go back and give one more better look at the Model A on display.
It didn't look like a YouTube video.
Right. Good times, good times.
What's that device?
GoPro. It's a GoPro.
GoPro, that's cool. You got a YouTube channel?
Yep.
Backpack.
Alright, now let's head up to the observation deck. From here, you'll be able to see over the whole Rouge complex. When we look to the left, you can still see a number of buildings originally built by Henry Ford between 1917 and 1928. This observation deck is 80 feet high.
If you look and you see the long blue building to your right, that's the scanning. That's the size of 50 football fields, and there are over 500 robots in the scanning. Once the parts are stamped, they're assembled, then they're painted, then they're brought over here to the factory. Now, have you seen the factory yet? That's where you'll see where they're going to disassemble and reassemble every car. And there's 1,000 trucks a day made here. Every 53 seconds there's one made.
The fans are going really loud, but if you didn't hear her, 1,000 trucks per day are made here. And the long building to the right is the size of 50 football fields. I will bring the camera over that way when this crowd thins out a little bit.
Those are now being produced at another place in Flat Rock, which is about 30 miles south. If you can look in the parking lot, you'll notice some of the pavement is dark as opposed to light. That's of course pavement. That's to help with drainage. not afford, you have to park on the other side. They don't do that anymore for obvious reasons. You can't see the course paved. This is our orchard down here. Again, it's part of the natural habitat. It has a number of different cranberry or crabapple trees, which is a natural habitat for the birds and the ducks. We did have beehives there. There are still 2 beehives for the bees went away. So we're hoping we can restock those at some point. That's very important. At one point, they said that birds wouldn't even fly over this area because the air is so good. Now we are a natural habitat. John said that we family have frogs and toads, lizards around, the ducks and the geese. So it's been a big effort by Ford to make this a safer environment for not only us, but our children and our parents. Now, if you look down, all the way to your right, to the horizon, you will see the skyline of Detroit. The tallest building to the right is the Renaissance Center. That was built by Ford Motor. It is now currently the headquarters for General Motors, but they are going to be moving into another building downtown Detroit. So we don't know yet what's going to happen to the Renaissance. It's a wonderful place. I hope that they make great use of it because it's a historic building and it's certainly a landmark for Detroit. And if you look to the right of the Renaissance Center, you'll see some buildings. That's actually Canada. So when you can tell people that you were in Dearborn, you saw Detroit and Canada all at the same time. This blue building here is not operational. That's the one sold as well. Just to give you an idea of the importance of the drainage, the water drainage. Like I told you, it's a mile and a half long by 3/4 a mile wide. That's a lot of concrete. As a matter of fact, it's 44,000 cubic yards of cement on this property. That's enough to build a sidewalk from here to Cleveland, Ohio. If you know where Cleveland, Ohio is, it's in the next state. So all of this is an important factor. And do you have any questions for me? You are welcome and encouraged to use your cell phones and your cameras up here. There's great places for photo opportunities, including a map from the 1930s. From here, if you have not been to the factory, that's where your next stop will be. You'll take these elevators down to the mezzanine, the main level, and go into walkway 4, and that will take you into the factory. It's 11:30. They'll be going to lunch about noon. So if you want to see it working, you need to be in the factory by noon. Otherwise, you can go back down to the main level, the Legacy Gallery, and then at 12:30 back. This is self-guided at this point, so take your time.
Now the Rouge here is in Dearborn, Michigan, but I've zoomed up on these buildings off in the distance. That's downtown Detroit, Michigan. And the buildings just to their right is actually Canada. And believe it or not, that little chunk of Canada is actually south of Detroit.
And then come back to the factory, or you can go to the factory right now. It's a 30 mile walk around, but they are working, so you can see it in action. So that's your choice. From this point on, it's self-guided.
And the highlight of this tour was the plant tour. We could see the workers on the assembly line making F-150s. You kind of walk on this walkway up above, and you look down, walking around a 1/3 mile area, watching different parts of the truck being assembled. It's pretty fascinating. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us take videos or pictures, but here's what it looks like. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video of the Ford Rouge Center. See you in the next video.